Welcome to today's Explainer. I'm really glad you're here because we're looking at a topic that, honestly, fundamentally shapes the trajectory of our lives, our careers, and our personal growth. We're talking about the absolute, undeniable importance of skills. We hear this word tossed around all the time, right? In schools, job interviews, government programs. But what does it actually mean to have a skill? And why is it the defining factor between just knowing something and actually succeeding at it? Okay, let's dive into this and unpack exactly why your skills matter now more than ever.
To help us master this, here's our roadmap for the explainer. We'll define what a skill actually is, look at the needs of the modern era, outlining key skills, review their benefits, provide a step-by-step development guide, and finally explore digital skills alongside moral values. Let's get right to it.
So, Section 1, what is a skill? It's time to demystify this concept. We need to look at what a skill represents way beyond just being a corporate buzzword or some fluff you put on a resume. At its core, the source material defines a skill beautifully. It's the practical ability to execute a task correctly, with efficiency and with confidence. I really want you to focus on those three pillars: correctness, efficiency, and confidence. It means you aren't just guessing your way through a problem. You've internalized the process. When you're skilled at something, you don't just know the theory behind it. You know how to actually execute it in the real world, and you trust yourself while doing it. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the sharp contrast between degrees and practical application. Look, studying for a degree is fantastic, but simply reading a book about how to swim is absolutely not going to keep you from drowning when you're thrown into the water. Book knowledge is the foundation, sure, but the skill is the actual capability to apply that knowledge in the real world. A degree proves you sat in the class, but a skill proves you can actually do the job. Moving on to Section 2, the need of the modern era. Why is there suddenly such a massive global spotlight on this topic? Well, let's establish the stakes here. Here's a bit of a reality check from our source material. We live in a fiercely competitive era. Today, a degree is literally just the minimum requirement. Degrees might get you to the door, but make no mistake, skills are what actually get you inside the room. In every single field, employers and clients aren't just asking, hey, where did you study? They're asking, what can you actually do for me? If you want to seize opportunities in your life, mandatory skill development is completely non-negotiable. And this isn't just some corporate talking point. This is a massive national priority. For example, the Indian government is heavily focused on skill development for its youth right now. Why? Because teaching skills is the absolute most direct way to make young people truly employable. It fosters deep self-reliance. It transforms passive job seekers into active job creators who actually have the capability to start their own businesses. When you teach someone a skill, you're basically handing them the keys to their own economic independence. Which brings us to Section 3, key skills and their types. So what exact tools do we actually need in our modern toolkit? I want you to look at this list because this is literally the ultimate blueprint for modern success. We're talking about essential soft and cognitive skills here. Communication, can you clearly express your ideas? Leadership, can you guide a group toward a goal? Then there's time management, problem solving, creative thinking, teamwork, and decision-making. Guys, these aren't just optional extras. These are absolute essentials. A student has to learn these right alongside their regular studies. If you can solve complex problems creatively, manage your time, and communicate your solutions effectively, you're going to be unstoppable in any industry. Let's pivot to Section 4, benefits of skill development. Let's outline the tangible rewards. What exactly happens when you commit to building these competencies? And this brilliantly illustrates the sequential power of learning a new skill. Look at how it builds from the individual all the way up to the entire nation. Number 1, it immediately increases your personal confidence. When you know you're good at something, you just walk differently, right? 2, that confidence and capability naturally boost your employment opportunities. 3, better opportunities obviously lead to increased income. 4, that financial stability fosters true self-reliance. You depend on yourself. And finally, number 5, when individuals are self-reliant and productive, they contribute massively to the economic progress of the entire country. It's just a beautiful ripple effect.
All right, Section 5, how to develop skills.
It's great to know why we need them, but how do we actually get them? Let's move to and see how this builds into a highly practical roadmap. First up, regular practice. Consistency is absolutely everything. Second, build a habit of learning new things outside your comfort zone. Third, study books to gain that foundational wisdom. Fourth, leverage the modern world we live in. Take online courses or training programs. And fifth, and honestly perhaps most importantly, learn from your mistakes. When you're acquiring a new skill, you are definitely going to mess up. That isn't failure, that's just data. Use that data to refine your process. I really want to pause on this message from our source material because it's deeply, deeply encouraging. No one, and I mean absolutely no one, is born skilled. We often look at experts and think, they must have some magical genetic gift. But the truth is, continuous practice, ironclad discipline, and relentless hard work are the true equalizers. They are what forge a skilled person. If you put in the discipline repetitions, you can absolutely master what you currently find difficult. And finally, Section 6, digital skills and moral values. We need to discuss the specific modern requirements, but also the timeless character traits that have to accompany them. First, the digital landscape. The importance of digital skills has absolutely skyrocketed. If you understand computers, the internet, artificial intelligence, data analysis, and how to navigate online work, you are basically holding the winning lottery ticket of the modern economy. These digital capabilities are rapidly opening massive, completely unprecedented new opportunities for the youth today. You've got to stay adaptable and always be ready to learn these emerging technologies. The crucial point is this: critical balance. Technical skills alone are just not enough. They have to be firmly paired with moral values. Think about it for a second. A highly skilled data analyst who lacks honesty is a huge liability. A brilliant AI developer who lacks punctuality or discipline is going to completely fail in a team setting. Honesty, discipline, punctuality, and respect for others are just as much a part of being a highly skilled professional as your ability to code or communicate. The source material anchors this entire philosophy with a really profound quote from Swami Vivekananda. He said, "The purpose of education is not merely to provide information, but to develop a person's character and personality. True success is achieved only when knowledge and skills walk hand in hand." That is the ultimate takeaway here. Information is incredibly cheap today. It's everywhere. But character, paired with the actual capability to execute, that is rare. And that is what leads to lasting, meaningful success. Which brings us to the end of our explainer and to a very important question. Will you pledge to learn something new today? I want to challenge you right now. Commit to continuous learning. Commit to refining your abilities. Because when you do, you aren't just improving your own life. You're contributing to your family, to your society, and to your country's progress. Take that step today. Thank you so much for joining me for this analysis, and keep building those skills.